What's up, guys? Pete here from Consciously Comatose, back with another cover song. How to create the cover song. This week I'm doing Letterman by The Story So Far. One of my favorite songs off their new album. Honestly, probably my favorite song off their new album. And The Story So Far is a major influence on the type of music I play. Back in high school when I was mostly in a band playing bass, but also drums and first learning guitar. Story So Far is Under the Soil and Dirt was one of the first pop punk records out of the Blink 182, moving away from Blink 182 and into this newer 2010s Wonder Years, Story So Far, Man Overboard. Those are the big three. Huge influences for me, learning what different types of like underground at the time, if you will call it that, pop punk was, and expanding out past pop punk to different realms of pop punk's, such a confusing genre, but that newer wave, Story So Far, was a huge influence there. And their first three albums, Under the Soil and Dirt, What You Don't See, and Self-Titled, were all more in the vintage Story So Far, heavier, not heavier, but like with some hardcore influence. Parker's more aggressive vocals, just a little more aggressive, punky. And then it got into like a vibey punk on the self-titled album, but still with that sound of Parker kind of singing in that range. And then came out with Proper Dose, and that was a different, more alternative rock sound that I really liked. But the newest record, which I keep forgetting the name of it, I Want to Disappear. I think they went in the more of that alternative rock realm, but it still has some of the guitar nuances, guitar parts of a classic Story So Far. Still has great vocal hooks, great drums on it. Really solid track, solid album all around, but a lot more dynamic than anything you would have heard in the earlier days. And just I think a really good piece of work by The Story So Far. So long story short, working on Letterman today. Been watching some videos on YouTube about mixing and guitar and all that stuff, and there's an account, Rhett Schul, I believe his name is, had a video out about what not to do on your guitar, and one of the things was don't just always noodle what you know. And over the past year, I would say I've not been following Rhett's advice. Letterman has been one that I noodle all the time because I think it's an awesome guitar riff, and I've ended up learning pretty much all of the lead guitar part. I'm gonna iron it out today here, but it's the same thing I've been playing since it came out. I don't know if it's exactly been 2 years, but I haven't fully sat down and learned how to play the whole thing. I got the drums down pretty well. I have the lead guitar down solid, and I have the vocal melodies kind of familiar with it. But the rest of the parts I don't know all that well. Haven't listened too closely in terms of learning them. I have an idea of how they go, but Letterman's going to be cool. So every cover is a little bit different. Background Sad was like a total rewrite in my own acoustic style, and a lot of the acoustic ones are more thinking of how can I do this differently. This is Letterman's going to be kind of like the Man Overboard cover, kind of like the Cage the Elephant Metaverse cover, in that I'm going to try and follow the recording pretty much to a T, but it's going to inherently have my own spin on it. The tones aren't going to be exactly the same. I might throw some different vocal parts, maybe a different, I don't think in this song there will be any different lead guitar. I have that pretty down and figured out, but yeah, a lot of talking. We'll get into it shortly. But just wanted to preface that this is going to be more of a translation versus a reimagination, if you will. And by the time this is dropping, I should have my Secret Crowds acoustic cover out, and I might have my Plus 44 When Your Heart Stops Beating cover out. If not, spoiler alert, that'll be the next one, because Letterman and When Your Heart Stops Beating are the next two that I have at the time of recording this, ready to go after Secret Crowds, which I just have to throw the final backing vocals on and mixing. But anyways, whenever you're seeing this, it's either this and then Plus 44's cover, or Plus 44's cover will have come back out. But gonna try and get back into the swing of things. I've been recording my cousin's girlfriend's house, which always, once we get really heavy into that, it's hard to balance both Consciously Comatose and my cousin's girlfriend's house. If you notice the cut right there, it's because I started this video with Pro Tools up, and I've really just been talking, so took Pro Tools down for a minute, but here I go over explaining. Anyways, yeah, with my cousin's girlfriend's house, recording our next release, it's been taking up a lot of time, and haven't had a chance. Also, got engaged, went to Colorado to visit my cousin and aunt. That's where I got engaged. And just a lot going on this summer that it's not been possible to get the cadence at a song every 3 weeks. Plus, not even plus, but just prioritizing what to do, and these full band covers take a little bit longer than the acoustic covers, but they're the ones that I want to get out next. So a lot of talking, let's get into it. The story so far, Letterman. So first things first, I've set up my session in terms of I pulled in the actual track of Letterman. Sometimes I'll do a scratch drum where I program the drums and build it all without using the actual track, but for this song I've just decided to use the actual track, and I'm going to do try and figure out guitar and bass at the very least today, and then I can point out some things about the drums, but I've actually learned most of the part already, and the vocals. Might try and get into it, but trying to get a lot of stuff done today. So right now I have the track labeled with all the different parts, and I have the story so far's original track in here. Like I said, I've been listening to this for a while. I understand the structure of the song. I understand the lead guitars and the drum part at the very least. Now, I learned it through listening to this song many times and trying to focus my listening on each individual part, combined with watching the music video, trying to see if any of the drums are actually matching up and where hands are on the guitars. And then I love watching live videos to try and figure out if there's anything that I've missed, or sometimes they do it live differently than on record, and I'll choose between one or the other. But really, a lot of the times it's just I kind of understand the lead part, and then watching a live video can help me see it more clearly, because usually the audio is a little bit more clear about, left side guitars lead, right side guitars rhythm, or something like that. But I digress. It's how I figure out the song. So there's a live video of the story so far playing this at Red Rocks that I also use and might reference within this video to figure out individual parts. But first things first, I'm just going to listen to it back, and I'll make some comments here and there as I listen to it back, but then I'll hook up the guitar and we'll start working piece by piece. I'll probably do the guitar part that I know already best, and then the secondary lead / rhythm guitar tracks, figure out the bass, and we'll see if there's anything after that in terms of structuring this song. But here it is, Letterman. Let's take our first listen through. Make sure everything's good. Turn it up a little bit. Whoops. So it starts out just the guitar riff and the drums. Now we got two guitars working and the lead vocal in the verse. Bring in the bass. And the drums open up a little bit with the hi-hat opening up. This is a really nice build up to the chorus. Into the chorus, it hits really hard. Really like the tone of the guitars on this record. Back to the dueling kind of arpeggiated guitars. Bass is moving. Vocals are playing back and forth. The build-up's coming again. This chorus hits hard, man. bridge is interesting. Some weird time signature thing that they're doing, but it works in 4/4 as well. Brings it back down to a really pared down third verse, if you will. I love that drum fill coming into the last chorus. Different, creative. Really punches in this last chorus. So we'll go through the whole thing, and as I'm working on the different parts, I'll probably break down sections even more than I just did there. Obviously, more than I just did there, but I threw some initial thoughts out as it was happening. The one thing that sticks out that I might figure out later on when I'm doing the bridge is just exactly what's going on with the time signature or the rhythm there, because it's something that's awkward. It's like 10 beats and then 14 beats, 10 beats and then 14 beats. In some sort of, I don't know. I really don't know. We'll check it out. Before I get started, gonna try and do this is a breakdown of the song as well. So a breakdown of the story so far as Letterman, and then me trying to restructure it as my own. But I want to give my initial thoughts on both this record and the song. The record in general, I mentioned it earlier, but I think it's the story so far's most complete release. I think there's elements of their early stuff in there, especially with the guitar work, and the tone's very different, but the guitar work, it's just got story so far riffs, it's got story so far leads, and it meshes with that alternative rock that Proper Dose introduced us to, and I just think it's a great blend, very mature sound. I know it's like a cliche thing to say, but it's a mature take on the story so far, and I really enjoy it. And then coming to this song in particular, I love the guitar work. The story so far has a lot of different parts where the two guitars are working together. Obviously, in the chorus, it's more of a lead and rhythm type dynamic. But in these verses, I love how the lead guitar number one is playing like a lower arpeggio, and then the rhythm guitar is actually serving as like lead guitar 2, playing a higher arpeggio type thing. But I'm getting too far into the guitars, just talking about the song straight through. I mean, looking at the structure, I'll go back into Pro Tools, but it starts out with this beautiful, I don't even know if I'd say beautiful, I just think it's such a cool guitar riff. It's nothing overly complex, but it's really catchy to the ear. The tone is relatively clean with reverb, but just this simple riff with the drums giving us a little intro, because the whole song is pretty simple in the fact that it's that guitar riff drives the verses, and then there's this cool build up into the chorus, and then the chorus is classic big guitars with the lead. I'll explain it when I get to guitars, but there's a very story so far thing, pop punky thing, but story so far thing going on there with the lead guitars, and it's a pretty classic chorus, and then verse is back to that guitar riff, chorus is big again, and then the bridge is this weird rhythm, weird time type thing, but still keeps it pounding and pretty big. And then verse 3 comes back with a really pared down version of the verse, almost like the intro where it's just one guitar and the drums, and then it's just two guitars and the drums, and then they bring the bass in with another build up into a final chorus that is longer and completes itself with a really cool drum part that's not just the same drum part that goes into the normal choruses, and then it's a big last chorus. So again, that intro, really beautiful, really cool riff. It's been in my ear since the song came out. And then you introduce, in this first verse, you're introducing in the right ear the other lead guitar, because in the verse you could either say it's two lead guitars or it's two rhythm guitars, but they're playing complementary parts that I believe, again, I'm sorry if this is not the right terminology, but it's single notes up different strings. It's not exactly arpeggio, but it's kind of like an arpeggio part. Both parts are, where in the left ear is that initial lead that's on the low E string, and it is lower in tone. It's that lower part, and then introduced into the right ear at verse 1, it's vocals down the center, and then another lead or rhythm, whatever you want to call that guitar part, in your right ear. So all you have in this first verse, it's still pretty pared down. There's no bass. The drum's just playing the hi-hat and the snare on a... It's just a consistent beat, and it's vocals come in not too hard. It really builds nicely. I think the dynamic of this song is really nice, because let's keep going with the verse. Boom, sliding in a bass, and this is where the full band's coming in, and it's building up. The hi-hat, which has been playing closed on every note, now is open. The slide comes in. It's just a little more aggressive, but the bass is doing some lick higher up on the neck, so it's not super powerful in terms of like thickness, but it's starting to build, and you can hear the edge coming in. To be honest, I don't understand. And that early, what is it? I'm sorry, music theory's not there for me yet. I don't know music. I can't speak it very well. It's weird. I figure out songs by listening, watching, and replicating, but I can't speak the music clearly. So if I'm wrong, please don't get all over me about this. I'm just trying to explain what I'm hearing. But I love how it's like, it's a beat early on the accent going into the chorus, and before that, everything's working. Right? We're very open, driving with those hi-hats, and then the classic build-up. Lead guitar comes in double, rhythm guitar comes in doubled, but the drums go down to a floor tom and snare drum build-up, so it comes down even though there's more instruments, more layers coming in. That drive is coming in, dips down to this build-up, so it's almost like it's been it's been a pretty decent incline going gradually up, and then we just have a little dip down. Even though there's more layers, it's a little dip down before shooting into the chorus. And that was a terrible explanation, but those hi-hats are working. Only two different guitars. Listen to everything double. I just think that's incredible. Guitar's double. There's a doubled lead. It's pretty prominent. And there's heavy rhythms coming in. But because the drums go down to that build up on the floor tom and snare, and the guitars aren't like totally pounding, to me it really does feel like a little dip down that sends you up onto... It's like the chorus shoots in. I think that's so cool. And something that I hear in this song and listening to this, I'm not sure how I would feel about it in listening to the rest of the album. I'd have to think. But this almost gives me a sound and a vibe of Grayscale's Adornment, but larger, more produced, and the Story So Far doing it at the, I wouldn't say pinnacle of their career, but they're really making great music still. They've had an awesome career, and it seems like they've climbed pretty gradually, but I think this album so far is their best album they've put out in terms of like, and maybe it's just me growing as a person, and the band has grown correctly with me. But it reminds me of like if Grayscale had continued on more of an adornment path instead of going a little bit poppier, this could have fit on it. And I think the guitar tones kind of sound like that too. Like if I ever see you again, I think that's the last song on that. For some reason, the guitars on that remind me of the guitars on this. But again, I'm rambling a little bit, but and the drum beat too reminds me a little bit of something Grayscale would do, opening it up. Say something. It's that kind of open, hoppy drum part. This one's a little more driving than hoppy, but still, it's that kind of vibe. But it's also the story so far. It's also, I don't know. It's got, like, Proper Dose has a pretty big chorus. There's a couple, yeah, it's not that driving early story so far chorus, but I don't know. This just sounds correct for them, and it sounds well. I don't know if I'd say correct, but they do a good job of making it sound like the story so far, in my opinion. There's no point in making eyes and know the price, 'cause I know all about the down and I get it. 'Cause even if I close my eyes and fantasize, never gonna help me admit that you could and you just accept it. Quick re-intro. And it's literally just the drums. There might be synthesizer in there. I'm not sure, because the lead guitar kind of has a sound that could be synthesizer as well, or just some sort of track behind it. I don't know, but it sounds like it's just the drums with that driving beat and the closed hat. Yeah, so the hat's closed. And then there's this, I'll explain it in the drum part, but there's this little hi-hat thing that he does when it's transitioning from the closed hi-hat to the open hi-hat. And I'm getting really in the weeds here about drums, but it's a small thing that really, it's a drum part. It's a drum part that changes the song because it coincides with the bass coming in usually. I just listened back, and I think I can explain it better. So hi-hat's driving closed 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the snares 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and on the hi-hat, and 1, 2, 3, 4 on the snare. But that hi-hat's closed, and that's the part when there's right now in this re-intro, there's no guitar. Earlier on in the song, when it was doing that closed hi-hat part, there was only the main lower lead guitar part playing in the left ear, and then he plays, actually, I believe also the first verse when it comes in with the other lead or rhythm, whatever you want to call it, arpeggio part in the right ear, he's still playing that closed hi-hat. But in both verses, I believe, I'll have to check verse 2, but in both verses when he plays, he does this little change in the rhythm on the hi-hat, and that indicates that we're going to open it up and drive a little more with the bass, and it's that second half of the verse, or the entire second verse, that is more driving, leading us into another build-up, and then the chorus explodes. So it's beautiful craftsmanship in terms of very subtle growth throughout the song. So I'm going to go back again and summarize what I have so far. Intro, super simple. It's that closed hi-hat drum beat and the main low lead guitar in your left ear. And then when verse 1 comes in, we add that other lead or rhythm, whatever you want to call it, arpeggio guitar in your right ear. So one guitar in each ear playing single notes. You got the vocals that come in down the center, but the drums are still driving on a beat where their hi-hat is closed. And then halfway through the first verse, drummer plays the hi-hat part, the hi-hat fill that I still haven't explained, so let me explain it now. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3. He accents on the and of 3 with an open hi-hat, and then again on the and after 4 of an open hi-hat, and then hits, I believe, the crash cymbal on 1 of, which is on the 1 beat of when the bass comes in and everything opens up and the hi-hat stays more open with more of a sizzle. So let's listen through that again. Drums close. 1 and 2 and 4 and 1. Yeah. And that's when the bass comes in. That's that build up. So again, first verse, more gradual of a grow, and then in that part right before the chorus, it dips down and then shoots into the chorus. And then we get to the re-intro, which is just the closed hi-hat drum part, and then it does that accented fill, and I believe everything comes in at once, so the second verse is more driving all the way through. Yep, the bass is there. We got vocals coming back and forth. So to build even more here, they add a tambourine in the second half on the snare hits as well of that second verse. I don't know if they do that in the first part of... I don't think they do that in the first verse. They might. I can't tell, but I think it's more prominent in verse 2. If you listen, I believe it's the higher frequencies, you'll hear like the sound of the tambourine. It's a high pitched, like cymbal type, metallic type sound, but it's in there. That dip down shoots off into the second chorus. So then we come into the bridge, and this is the part that I don't want to get too into the weeds yet, so I'm not going to, but there's a weird rhythm happening here that makes it a bridge that caught my ear, because I was like, how the hell are they playing that? But also, it's nice in that it kind of keeps a driving sound going, not totally equivalent to the chorus, but it doesn't really dip down back into the passiveness of the verse. You have a rhythm guitar playing some sort of power chords, I believe, and then the bass is playing more of the root notes and the lower frequency, or keeping it lower on the neck to make it sound full, and the lead guitar is playing a different lead riff, and the vocal melody switches up, but it keeps driving. So don't think that I'm excited at all, and you know that I've been dying to call and get involved, and I don't want to be here at all. Do you notice I all? And the end of that has like a dun dun dun, the chug, palm mute type things. Really give it a heavier feel for 1 or 2 bars, whatever that is, before stripping it back down to what I believe is the vocal is fading out, or not fading out, but he's holding a note and completing that section, while that lead guitar part on the lower part of the neck comes back in the left ear, and it's this really stripped down third verse. So don't think that I'm excited. So let's start from kind of halfway-ish through. Super stripped down. No bass. The bass is kind of ringing out. Oh, I love it. The drums do the drums have that hi-hat fill indicates when the bass is going to come in, when the hi-hat's opening up, and in every verse they do it a little bit differently, but it starts, again, I'm sorry to go so deep so early, but that first verse starts so stripped down, it's just one guitar and drums followed by just 2 guitar, drums, and vocals, and then the hi-hat beat or fill, if you want to call it, the hi-hat part where he accents an open hi-hat and hits crash on 1. That opens up the second half of the first verse, which is bringing in a bass. It's a little bigger, but it's still just 2 guitars. In the second verse, there's a little re-intro that's just the drum part with the closed hi-hat, and then it does that hi-hat fill type thing that kicks us right into the second verse, which has both guitars going, vocals and bass from the get-go. And then this bridge part happens, and the third verse strips down. The bass is holding out still from the end of the bridge, and it's just, let me listen back, but I believe it goes right into both guitar parts, because the end of the end of the bridge is that lead guitar, the lower lead guitar playing by itself, and then the second part comes in, and I believe the bass doesn't come in yet. The hats are closed, and it's this like almost pared down to what the first verse is. There might be a filter on it even, but it feels, because the second chorus and the bridge were so big, that coming back down to an energy just like the intro / first half of the first verse sounds so dynamic. I don't want to say small, but it goes down and it sounds small. That's what I'm going to say, because the chorus sounds big. This sounds small, but not in a bad way. See how that bass is hanging on there? Both guitars are going. Vocals are definitely in some sort of a filter. And that second half, driving, it's so nice. And then we get the build-up starts earlier. So that build-up starts earlier, lasts longer. So it's great song structure. It's great song structure, because the build-up it gets me every time. But the fact that it builds up longer, and it's like the anticipation, and it comes in earlier. That build-up comes in earlier, because if we go back to the second verse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 1. So it's six times through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2. See? One measure early, it comes in with that build up, and then it lasts longer. That's good stuff. So you're expecting one more bar, and then we're building up. And that drum fill. Dun, dun. It's like da 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 ba ba. It's nice. And the chorus is huge. Beautiful. That's really cool. In the last chorus, it kind of like repeats the last line, the last tag of the chorus once, and then it calls back to the bridge with the lead guitar part that is happening in the bridge, and like kind of like the rhythm that's happening in the bridge to end the song. If I close my eyes and fantasize, never gonna help me admit that you're gone and you just accept it. Repeat. Bridge. That's a fucking good song, man. That's a fucking good song. Whatever you want to think about the story so far, you can. If you think no, there's a lot of different thoughts about the story so far. There's people who only like their earlier stuff, don't like anything after Proper Dose. There's people who like it all. There's people who accept it all but say that No Pressure is better than the story so far now. Whatever you want to think, I think this song's a fucking masterpiece. It's so simple, but it builds so well all throughout. It calls back to different sections of the song. And I really like doing this kind of breakdown right now because I know this song well enough to be able to break it down like this. Some of the songs, I'm learning them on the spot and I'm too focused on trying to learn the parts. But this is a really nice structural breakdown that tells you why is this song work so well. Why have I been so stuck listening to it? It's because of how it calls back to different parts. The dynamics build so well. The parts are creative and catchy and melodic. It's good stuff. Good stuff out of the story so far on Letterman. And again, I'm really having fun breaking it down like this. Maybe I'll do something when I go to do vocals where I try and also analyze the lyrics because I think this really helps me. This is part of my process in all of the covers, and even when I'm writing my own songs, I'll do this type of analysis just on songs without recreating them, but I'll try and listen to what are they doing with that guitar part? What are they doing with the structure? What are they calling back to? Why does the melody work? What are the words? Why are the words so powerful? Or why are they not? Why do they work? Because they're not that deep. But for the sake of this song, I'm going to keep going instrumentally. For the most part, maybe call out some melodies, but I think a whole breakdown would be cool. And moving forward, I might use this structure. You know, as I do these videos, I try and think, what is my strength? I'm learning more about production and engineering. I'm learning more about guitar theory and just knowing notes and actually not sucking. But something that I am really confident in is that I love writing songs, and I think I write creative songs because I analyze the structure of songs that I really like. Like I don't know. Some days when I listen to music, I'm just zoned out and I can't focus on anything, but songs that really catch my attention, I listen to over and over, and I end up analyzing what are they doing that I like, whether it's subconsciously or not. What are they doing that I like? What are they making me feel? And this is one of those songs that, like, when that chorus comes in every time, my head's bopping. My head is bopping. But I digress. Let's get into part by part going through this song. Looking at this first guitar part that happens, there's a slide on the low E string up to a B, from A to B. So the root note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's A is the first, B is the first root note, and it goes down to E as the root note. And in between, there's different notes that we're hitting. I'm not going to explain them in this video. I'm sorry. It's going to take too long. So that's that main one. He might be going to a different note right at the end, but I play it my way, so I'm going to play it my way. But let's just try and lay that down, put it in guitar left. I will create, I'm going to create a second duplicated track for this for the right guitar once it comes in. And shit. Accidentally just doubled everything. So I've doubled the guitar. That'll be guitar right. and I'll listen back. I'm sure it's not hard panned right away, but I can't be certain of that. But anywhoosie. And this song is at 144 beats per minute. Throw the click back on and turn that up a little so I can hear. And let me just try laying down this guitar riff. So this is this lower lead guitar riff. So that is guitar left on, that's that main lead verse or rhythm verse, whatever you want to call it, guitar. And so that starts it off. And mind you, I'm a little rusty here recording. Then we'll do the other guitar part, which goes... Pretty cool. Let's record it. Sorry for the harshness of both the guitar and the tuning. It's what it is. Record the other side. I'm not gonna post that, but I just want it to be tighter. Cool, so that's that part. It's not sounding as clean as I'd like, but just want to make sure that I get everything done here. So then we'll add 2 new guitar tracks, and this will be the chorus guitars. We got rhythm left, rhythm right, lead guitar left, lead guitar right. And what I'm going to do is figure out first thing I'm going to do is the rhythm guitar, learn that, because I have the lead guitar down, but I want to figure out the rhythm guitar part so that it all sounds good together. So that's the one side, and then we'll record it on the other side. So I do think that it goes like this. I think that's how this recording goes, but I'm also interested in... I'll stick to what I think it is, and if I'm wrong, fuck me. Pick up, I guess. Not bad. sounding, I think. I think I might just want some straight up. Give me 2 more rhythms. Because I'm trying to set this up to work with, as soon as I jump into it, with the recording process, the tones are somewhat there. So I want to just demo this as if it would be full, so quad tracking, or I guess this would be, this is quad tracking, the rhythm guitar with what I believe 2 more Marshalls is a good idea to me. Let me try these on the other pickup. Side I'll do the high part, not the high part, but the high E. Nice. So there's that. I'm going to one more time try and track verse 2. Just raw tracking. But if it sounds like poopy, I'm just going to go ahead and copy paste because I can do that. Cool. Sweet, sounds good. I'm going to copy paste the choruses. I believe that's what it is. So the bridge rhythm is sorry. We'll do this one here. That's it. At least how I'm going to do it. Let me run it back with the song to see if that matches up. Hell yeah. So let's just record that part. fucking clipping somewhere here, but I'm just trying to play, man. Just trying to play. And then we'll do the high E on this side. So on this side of the guitar, I'm going to do a little keeping the low E string in the rhythm even when it goes up to this. Because before I was doing. But here I want to do. Let's try it. Just accept it. So don't think that I'm excited. Alright, so let's listen to the lead part now. We'll go back to the footage. I'll move over to the lead guitar part here. Lead guitar track. So I believe this is my interpretation of it from what I've known, from what I've gathered in my listening and playing. This is what I've got. So that's it. Let's try laying it down. Sounds pretty close. I'll probably end up re-recording it to make it sound better, but I just want to get the full feel of it. So let's hear it back. Yeah, I think that sounds cool because it kind of like is building. It's kind of like building it up again. Whoops. It's kind of like, God damn it. There we go. So it's kind of building it up with some held out chords there. Let's try the other. Kind of like that. So let's do the other side. Hell yeah. Let me do the other rhythms with the neck pickup. This is sounding really cool. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. Let's just lay down that last lead. All right. It is time for a hella vibe check to see how we're feeling about this. Got all the guitars down. Bass would be next. Up until there, we got something. Fuck, man, this part's hard, and I'm not even playing it close to right. I'm just making it mine. Do you notice where your pride is like a Letterman? Tired out your rubber band, man. I won't try you even though I can. And it's just the end, but I think that's close enough. just the figuring out how to play the song and arranging it mostly per the story so far, but also with a little bit of my touch. Next, I'll go and have to record the drum part, and I'll do the actual drums just right on this, so might add this to this video, might not. And then again, looking at the lyrics and the melody and throwing that stuff on. I'll be doing that another day, but it might be in this video. We'll see. For today, that is all.